Premanjali. Liska. Lis.
Kijk, speaker view, yes. Yes. Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Lis.
So I would like to tell something.
Please feel free.
So I have two sisters, and one sister has wrote a book about the history of our parents and how she grew up. And she asked me if I want to read it. And I said no. And I was wondering why I had this no. But it was too hurtful to read that story for me. So the hurt was about my mother. And she stalked a man for several years. When I was 15, she stalked.
Stalked. Ah, okay.
Stalked. I was 15 years, and she used me for that stalking.
I understand.
But lately I saw an interview with someone who has been stalked, and it's a disease. So I was shocked about this disease because the man doesn't want her, but she stalked him. It was so painful to read that story of this man and to notice that she had this disease. So it's still in my system. I feel that.
You know, I find like, we can call something a disease, or we can see that somehow that was how her system was organized and survived.
I see that, yes.
Yeah, and usually underneath that, there's some kind of trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if it's a disease because, like, for example, often people that have experienced trauma, which is almost everybody, have certain addictions. And we can talk about the addictions as being a disease, or we can talk about them that's how the system found to survive.
Yes, yeah.
So once we can see it like that, then it doesn't go in the direction so much of that there's something wrong with it. It's like,
okay, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that somehow that's just how the system learned, you could say, to deal with information or old sensations that it didn't have the capacity to really meet. It got, like fixated on something or addicted.
Yes,
Or
fixated, yes.
Yeah. And
so it was her survival.
Was the way her system survived, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like, just like when we look at somebody that's addicted to something or another, we can look through it from the perspective that is a sickness. We can look at it from the perspective, wow, look how intelligent the system is.
Yes, it makes it narrow when you make
it.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah. Wow, yesterday I went to this, they did a TED talk here in Byron, and there was a man there that spoke. He had a completely abusive childhood, in and out of orphanages and foster parents, and really severely beaten by his dad. And he became like, he was labeled a sociopath because he would fight with anybody.
Okay.
He just didn't know how to fit in anywhere. He was just absolutely freaked out. He dropped out of school very early because of his story with his dad, and so very difficult for him to get a job. So he was homeless basically, and also involved in drugs and alcohol and all that kind of stuff. And he was talking about his life and just saying how, at one point he went off to live in the forest with no tent, just out in the middle here, nearby where I live, just living in the forest, taking, drinking and smoking and taking drugs, and like completely freaked out. And he was talking about his whole journey with such a lightness and
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at one point he recognized he needed to stop the drugs and alcohol, and he did. And then he decided to get an education. And first he had to get the school leaving certificate so that he could further his education, and he managed. And then he started to study sociology, and he got his master's, and then he got offered a job.
Yeah.
Still homeless, all while homeless, managed to get his degree, and then finally he got a doctorate.
Oh.
And he was just saying, look at this, so much trauma behind this, and started to. But there he was talking about his whole journey with humor, with vulnerability. Beautiful. I mean, really amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Yes.
Yeah. So
you never know.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes a trauma can be a path, a doorway to something else. You say something like that.
For sure. Sure. And kind of the journey with trauma is an incredibly tricky journey to be present to, you could say. Mm-hmm. There's so many different layers to it, and yeah. And in some sense, if we look, what humankind has survived, there's trauma in almost everybody.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, from all the millions of women that got burnt to, and it just goes on and on, So we carry old information that's existential in nature that is not easy to, but it shows up in very, you could say, interesting ways that
interesting, yes.
Yeah, just trying to find some way, to survive,
go free
basically.
somewhere.
To go free somewhere. Yeah.
My mother
oftentimes very clumsy, very
very clumsy.
Very out of tune with the surroundings.
But she was my mother was also very spiritual. So she was with Yogananda. So she had lots of layers around her.
Yeah, well, often people that have a lot of trauma behind are drawn to spirituality as a means of trying to, deal with it,
Yeah, that's true. That's for me also. The way, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the mind, or our minds, are so quick to label and put a label on something.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Yeah. So just look with soft eyes at our
that gentleness, that gentleness.
Yes.
Yeah. Because when we look with hard eyes, with that idea of how somebody should be, or and it's based actually on a discomfort that happens in us.
Yes.
But it gets projected out. Yeah. So then, But underneath is just, the discomfort, and somehow wanting to find some way out. Way out. Yeah. Yeah. And that movement that happens of trying to find a way out is nothing that, it's not a decision or, something like that. It's just automatic, and usually it's a movement that we're so familiar with that it fools us. We don't see it. We don't recognize. Okay, well. And it's taken personally, and it means something about me, and all that stuff. Really, it's just.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Thank you. Judith.
Hi, Isaac.
Hey, good morning.
Good evening to you. I like to reach out, and at the same time, the system would like to hide away. So there is a discomfort and a state of exhaustion in the body. And so those two movements are here.
Yeah, and there's awareness of both of them, yeah?
Yeah.
And both the movement to reach out and to hide away are movements to try and deal with something that's not
at ease. Yes.
Yeah. And understanding that not being at ease, obviously, that those movements to reach out or to hide away are both means of survival, of just trying to, And so you're here and you see all of that. You see that movement reaching out, what looks like out. I don't know where out actually is.
No, but to connect, it's just
I understand. It's but it's like we hear.
Yeah.
And where's out from here? There's,
I know what you say.
So so it's a way of referencing, you could say. And it's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's a movement to try and resolve. That's all we can see here, based on a discomfort and not being at ease, not feeling at peace. Not wrong, not bad, just naming it for what it is. And the movement to reach out produces a certain sense of me, and the movement to hide also produces a sense of me. Yeah, and you can see that those senses of me are not who you are at all. They just related to those movements.
And it is based on the contraction that is there, the sense of separation.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, as we just were sitting here, and I just in me, the contraction got lessened, and actually there's quite a bit of releasing. I don't know how it is for you, but that's how it felt in me. Just something softening and something just seeing deeper without, no solution, nothing, just a recognition. I could say something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually such a longing for deep bedding and deep resting, and so that the body can also rest in the night.
So just again, honoring that longing.
Yeah.
And so that longing is it's trying to help. Again, no right to it or no wrong to it. It's trying to help. Tell me what's happening now.
Yeah, there's some shift happening.
Some shift is happening.
Yeah.
Somehow less of an inclination to move with longing, just seeing the longing for what it is. It's trying to help. It doesn't actually help, just a movement. And it actually tends to obscure what's already here in a certain sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the longing is also in postponement. Yeah.
It's just beautiful to see it. It's trying to help. Definitely, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's just a movement, you could say, related to discomfort, disease.
Yeah.
Breathing happens. Seeing happens. Life does its dance. Just in your own noticing the capacity to simply rest. How's that? What's happening with that?
At this moment, there's more space coming in.
More space, just simple, without a doing, without anything, just something.
Yeah. More connected and more.
Yeah, and those circumstances changed. It's just something inside just settled. It's amazing. It's
It's really amazing. Yeah.
Thanks, Judith.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you.
Mira. Hi, Mira.
Hi.
Did you get the surgery that you needed?
I'm in Denmark, back in Denmark, and it might take 6 to 9 months to heal before anything can be done.
Wow. Okay. So bit of a journey.
It's really like a strong journey, definitely. And the moment I landed in Copenhagen, my phone just died.
You say again, what happened?
My phone died. The moment I landed in Denmark, my phone died, and it's really, life is telling me to slow down and really to not reach out anywhere, to not go into any kind of movements, and I like to try to call any kind of insurances and to deal with all of this, It's just like, no, just take your time and slow down.
Yeah. It's like even this idea of slowing down, it's a nice idea, but don't turn it into religion. It's just, you get a moment and I'll slow down, cool. And then fresh, now again, this moment. See what it wants.
Yeah, I just can feel that there's like still so much activation in the system. And
how beautiful. And that which recognizes that activation. There's something or there's awareness of the activation. And activations come and activations go. That space at which activations come and go in,
And there's like a movement, want more space. I feel like so pressed into something.
Yeah, and then a breath came. Just the speaking, feeling at first.
Oh, don't make me laugh, it's painful.
Sorry.
Oh my God! Oh, gosh. Oh, oh, oh.
Sweetheart.
Oh, God, it will heal, right? Oh, this body is like a masterpiece. It's incredible to see, like.
Yeah.
Oh, but I still see this dog's face, biting me, and it's so strong to be attacked. I had no idea how strong it is.
Yeah.
Oof,
Yeah.
just like the
And then,
backlash.
you see the face and you see the flash, you honor it. I say, okay, I recognize my system is going over it like this. It's this it's like that which is aware, and then the content that keeps coming in it. It's just even as we're speaking here, just what's happening in you, just recognizing this ever-changing movie appearing in who you are. You don't have to do anything to be that. You already are that. Yeah. Yeah.
A funny movie, I mean, really.
And you see, just even in the few seconds that we've been talking, what's changed? What stayed the same? I mean, it's interesting just to notice, yeah? So a movie comes on our screen and kind of plays. And whenever we take a nap or go to sleep, that we let that whole movie go, take rest and come back, and then sometimes pick up the movie again, or sometimes a different movie. Yeah. Just for a moment, this inquiry, what is Mira?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Just sitting with that question, what is Mira? Are these images that come in your mind Mira? Are the habits that play Mira? It's okay to just feel love for no reason.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to be here with all of you. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah,
Supportive.
it moves so quickly as if there's something wrong and something that we need to work on or something. All of those movements seem to belong to a fictitious character that doesn't actually exist. When you rest now, can you feel something that you might call love?
Yes, I feel lots of love and warmth.
Yeah.
And
Just tenderness, beauty.
Holding and sweetness.
Yeah. How beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much, Isaac.
Oh, of course, it's, it's like, it's our natural expression, I would say, like that, when there's not something playing.
And playing is happening anyway, right?
And playing happens by itself, and it like, again, it comes and goes and gets seen when it gets seen. Yeah.
Like, I was wondering, the trauma. Is it like, like, because this dog has bitten me in my face, and I feel like this energy is like really strong in my headspace, and like also like tension in the neck and arms, and so is it just being quiet with it, and that's it, or like, is there something that I can do?
Yeah. Another talk at this TED talk was this guy who was in the corporate world, and he was really inspired by Jacques Cousteau in his youth, and so at some point he really wanted to become you could say an expedition photographer for the showing people what's going on in the oceans and all that kind of stuff. And he had to move from that corporate world into learning how to dive underneath the ice in the Antarctic. And on one of these dives, he was filming, and there was a little shark there, and they weren't in tune with the shark, and suddenly the shark attacked the person that he was filming and also bit him on the face, right on the mask. And he was just talking about how that completely freaked him out for a few months. He was his journey, but the guy that had bit wasn't fazed by it as much. It was like, but he was just speaking, and then once he came to the other side of it and just seeing, wow, it's just like the passion of just being present and recognizing it can happen. You just, even experienced divers can misread a territorial signal from a shark, for example. And so like we already spoke, somewhere there was not reading that dog signals.
Just give me a second. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, there's someone coming to visit me. Sorry.
Okay. So let them in, whatever. Let them in if you like.
Yeah. Oh, Han, I'm here. I'm coming. People take such good care of me. This is so lovely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it is a gift. I can see the gift of it.
Yeah, I mean,
and
so
whatever it is.
Yeah. And then it's just, again, being just super gentle, just like there's nothing to solve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the mind goes there in that way, and it's just honoring it. Oh, thank you for trying to bring this to peace. But when you sing that from peace itself, as peace, like as peace, what needs to be brought to peace right now?
Nothing.
Nothing, yeah. And then there's just the movements, like a thought comes, or why did this happen, or what do I need to learn? Yeah, what do I need to learn from it? Yeah.
The moment when like the door came so close,
Yeah.
there was no separation.
Yeah.
There was just no separation between this dog and what they call Mira. There was just presence. It's just the aftermath of this, whatever happened there.
Yeah. And now you just have to be careful not to laugh too much.
Oh. I cannot do this, Isaac. Come on, I'm here to kiss, all the time, and now I don't have lips to kiss. Oh my God, it's funny, like really. Oh, I feel here. Thank you so much.
Oh, sweetheart, yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Ciao.
Ciao.
Reiner.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Reiner. Life is simple at the moment for you, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Nice one. Thanks, Raina.
Thank you, Isaac.
Lily. And then Brigitte afterwards.
Hi, Isaac. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I so enjoyed, and everything that's been discussed, it just somehow can make sense, you know, in other people, in other systems. So it's great, really.
You know, we have this idea of inside and outside, but just right now, where is inside and where's outside? Inside and outside of what, you know?
I can only answer with the breath that I know it's being inhaling and exhaling, and that's all.
Yeah, that's that's referencing an activity and referencing the body as a container. But from the perspective of awareness, where's inside and outside, there is none.
There isn't. No.
It's just it's just ideas again.
Yeah. Ah, wow. Because I was going to ask that when you encounter a very different energetic field that is created by another system, I suppose you just focus in the heart and just there is that.
You know, it's a similar question. If I when a dream happens at night, and the dream is whatever you want to call it, it's a nightmare in the direction of something that's not fun.
Yeah.
That dream doesn't even exist.
No.
It's it's like it's a feeling.
Yes.
And pictures and and it's it's so when there's a waking up, like either the attention gets busy, what was that, and then suddenly back in the feelings and all that stuff. But if it's that's a dream, it's nothing, it's just it's a dream.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That story about like you go climbing somewhere and you've come home and you've taken a rope with you, and when you were tired, you just threw it in the corner of your room, and then maybe you woke up in the middle of the night and you looked and you saw something that looked like a snake, and you turned the light and you saw it was a rope.
Yeah.
The moment you see it's a rope, you don't have to work on your fear of snakes.
No. 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 No.
You just see, isn't the snake there? It doesn't. Yeah.
It's just that the last week I didn't turn the light on for a few days.
Yeah, it can happen.
And you know what? I was thinking, I can look at this as a movie, but I'm not there yet. The system is a bit too involved.
So let's just look at that. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Interesting ideas, yeah? There's a me and being somewhere and something like that. It's like, but same way, if I watch a movie on my computer and it's a scary movie or it's a sad movie or whatever it is, then tears come or excitement or whatever comes. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's related to pictures on the screen.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, really well crafted with the right music and the right, all that stuff. And then, then the system plays along and cries and projects at some bad guys and good guys, but they're all just actors. So,
I'm just loving this.
So we meet someone and we say, oh, they got a really weird energy. And then we get someone to agree with us. Oh yeah, don't they have a weird field or whatever the story is?
Yeah.
But yeah. It's like all that we're really speaking about is that something in us got uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's all. And then, like someone projecting it outward onto something and then wanting to come up with a solution for next time we encounter such a thing. It's like
yeah. But there was a fear triggered as well, like quite a deep one. So, and I kept on saying to myself, no, I actually looked into it and I realized it's not real, that I don't have to have all these triggers in place, like react to it like inside the way I did. But then I went back in there again,
it's like, I understand that way of seeing things. I understand that way of seeing things, and I'm just curious. It's like if I'm watching a movie and it's a scary movie, when the movie's over, you can say, "Wow, I really need to work on that fear." Somehow, fear got triggered, but usually that's not the way we think. Yeah, we say, "Oh, it was a movie. Fear came, it left. It was." I really liked that movie. I really got scared. I jumped and I screamed.
I don't like scary movies, but okay.
Yeah. And
but I know what you mean.
Now I have to work on my fear. Yeah, well, it's mine, and I have to work on it.
Yeah. So, okay, it's an interpretation. Okay, I get. Okay.
Yeah, okay. What is the sense of I? Just coming back to that story, like activation happens, and that activation, a sense of I appears. And then a movement of wanting to that sense of I, wanted to deal with that sense of I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. Hallelujah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes. Oh, there's Paquita. Paquita.
Hi, Isaac, can you hear me?
I hear you. You're sitting by the water.
This is my deck. This is the
Oh, nice. Cool.
summertime views. Yeah, sunny. So. I was, and already was, but I'm triggered again by what you've been discussing today, and about this fictitious life and illusionary imagination that we think is life. And in that sense, and that's of course also triggered by my own process and chemotherapy and breast cancer and whatever is happening. So why do we want to survive?
you know, like, what is it that wants to survive?
Yeah. But there's a sense of I, this body that you think that needs survival.
Yes. Yeah. So somehow you just, let's go deeper with that question, you know. So, you know, here life is happening, it's doing its thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this moment, just right here, right now, is there a need to survive, or just right here, right now?
No, not an immediate sense of that.
Not in the immediate, yeah, no, not immediately. So, and then, you know, at another moment, a thought might come, or an actual danger might come, and the body responds, or it doesn't respond. It's just like it does its dance.
No, I that I understand.
Yeah.
And I can feel that. I have moments of joy and peace and love and
Of course, everything.
in the midst of, you know, everything that is
Everything.
happening around me. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it is such
See, it comes back for me to just there's a way of speaking where we say I'm triggered, rather than and noticing. Okay, this triggering happening somehow in the system. So, what's the difference between I'm triggered and something is triggered in the system?
it's a lot less personal, and it's a lot less say as less
identification.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel the identification because I have a body.
Let's slow that down for a second. There's this statement. I have a body.
Yes.
There's a bodying activity going on.
Yeah, but I said it is an identification. Huh? I realize when I say that, that's an identification.
Yeah.
And the moment I think I have a body, I need to take care of it as best as possible,
stuff,
and all that stuff comes along. And if I don't do that, I am wasting a precious life with which I should do something. Blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. Exactly. Yeah. So, what is it that facilitates the capacity to thoroughly, I could say enjoy, but it's more savor this moment?
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. What facilitates the capacity to completely savor this moment? It's like none of us know how many moments we have left. Yeah. And most of us live, how can I say, if there's such a thing as preciousness of a moment, most of us squander that. It's like there's habits going on where our system is looking through our thinking to some future idea of what's going to make us happy.
Mm-hmm.
Such a simple magic trick in a way.
Well, if you say what facilitates the capacity, I only would have an inclination of my experiences of love, unconditional love.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if I have ever experienced it in the right way or to a certain degree or full capacity or whatever, but that would be my answer.
Yeah, and so then it becomes, okay, what's the priority this lifetime? Right here, right now.
That would be my only priority.
Yeah, and then within that priority, I mean, what else is important? I mean, really and truly, just, we can say, oh, well, my kids,
Sure.
Yeah, but really, it's that recognizing that unconditional loving, that the preciousness of exploring. Moment by moment by moment, yeah.
Now that brings up the whole sadness and struggle of last week, because that's when it was so difficult to live this.
Yeah, to me, it seems like the circumstance of our lives are completely out of control.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my 4 kids got the jab. My daughter-in-law. The way society is going, it's crazy.
Yeah. So we hear, on one hand, we can look at all the circumstances that are going on that are facing our species, so to speak. I mean, if you on so many fronts, life is showing us that, well, how life is happening cannot continue like this.
No.
I think it's
and will not continue like this.
And will not continue like this. And
No.
so there's all these things going on, we're watching, and at the same time, there's a duck swimming on the pond right behind you. Yeah, just beautiful. It's like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, so here we are. We don't have a clue whether we're going to
Before die,
survive
anyway.
Survive as a species, even.
No.
That's we don't know. It's like, okay. That's huge to contemplate, yeah. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I'm confronted with that.
Yeah, well,
Very much so.
we're confronted with our own mortality, but also the mortalities of the entire species. I mean, you know, like species are going extinct every day.
Yeah.
Nothing to say humans won't go extinct. Here we are. This is it, right here.
Well, what I sense and know is that this is the only thing that can keep this, say, system sane.
Yeah, for sure. Just moment by moment exploring.
Yeah.
Like a love affair, like, you know, that feeling you meet someone and it's juicy. That this is meeting the beloved, meeting the moment, you know, it's like this.
Yeah, and now I realize it's even in that and it's a qualification. I realize that it's even in this deterioration of this system because of chemo, there is the capacity to meet this moment by moment.
Exactly. That's, I mean, I've had friends who've gone through off bone marrow transplants and survived. I mean, you can't believe this stuff that people go through. And then when there's a recognition of knowing who they are, the courageousness, which literally comes from heart, the courage comes from the French word heart, yeah? That capacity to meet the moment like this, again and again and again. Yeah. And it's not intellectual, it's really, I mean, it's nice to have an intellectual understanding, but it's, something.
Oh, I know this, I feel this, I sense it, whatever, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know why, but this funny South African joke comes in my mind. These two guys are sitting on the banks of the Limpopo River smoking really potent weed, and they're so stoned, and they've been smoking all day. And one of the guys says to them, "Man, you won't just believe what happened, man. This crocodile just came and bit off my leg." And the other guy goes, "Wow, man, that's heavy. Wow, man. Which one?" And the other guy goes, "Man, I don't know. You've seen one crocodile, you've seen them all."
Yeah, doesn't matter. You've seen one horrific thing, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
It's very, very helpful and very, I can feel
Something
love
relaxing.
affair.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, thanks.
Good hug.
Yeah, and to you. Isabella.
Hello, Isaac.
Hey. Hi.
Can you hear me?
I hear you and I see you.
I just wanted to sit a bit with you.
With pleasure.
There are many things going on inside of me.
I can feel. But there's also a very sweet vulnerability at the moment, Isabella. Yeah. What do you notice?
Well, I don't know. There are so many energies playing inside of me, and maybe that is.
Yeah, so there's playing, but is there a hardness towards them or a gentleness and a space? Like, is there control or is there more just like a
No.
let go?
Yeah, it's a letting go.
Yeah, and that's actually, that's the context. That's the most, ultimately, that letting go is what I was calling vulnerability. It's just like, there's like, and it, yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
It's more a sense of not trying to figure things out.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and it brings peacefulness of not trying to figure things out. But also being in this field, so many brave beings like Mira and Birgitta, because I only joined the second hour, and this, to see this courage, and yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, we're all, in a sense, like the way thinking functions, it's always, the moment there's any sense of dis-ease or not, just the thinking tries to come up with a solution, what'll make us happy, and
Yeah.
so most human expressions are running after what the thinking tells them is going to make them happy. So without recognizing that it's like, universe, you made a big mistake. The way it is not the way I think it should be, and I'm not going to be happy until it is. And so if people live from that perspective, a whole lifetime just busy trying to change, fix, get rid of, and the simplicity of that deep resting, surrendering, whatever you want to call it, just presence, escapes them.
Yeah.
And so there's, it's like,
But also a reminder how everything can stop in a second.
everything.
Yeah, I lost my brother many years ago, and he died like in a second in a car accident. So yeah, it's just this reminder that and also, as you were saying, to just being present moment by moment. And
And it's not, it's so funny because it's passionate. It's like that. It's like, to me, that being present moment by moment is not dead.
No, it's not. I agree. When we are fully present, it's this aliveness.
Yeah.
In the present moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. these identities made up of a whole bunch of thoughts and ideas and memories and positions, and just starts to melt away. It's just crazy because
Yeah. Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ja, Tran. Just need to, yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, okay. My notebook is short of energy. Andrea gets a cable.
Cool.
There's such a beauty here, and when you asked before what facilitates, I don't know exactly the question anymore, but it's so funny for me. It's always just sitting with you, being with you. It's so crazy how this mind comes up with all kinds of suggestions all the time. What could be better and what could be different and what could be this and that. So busy, this one.
Mm. It's kind of, that's what its job has been, somehow, it's like this. But without realizing, in a way, the cost of running after that. Because that stopping of just here and just, okay. And then, allowing, you could say, like starting to explore the embrace of this moment. Yeah.
And it's there all the time.
And it's there all the time and overlooked. Yeah.
This stupid mind just...
it's doing its best,
It's doing its best, of course, yeah. Then it really, it looks like there's something to do as long as when I'm in my dreams or nightmares or whatever, it looks like there's always something to do.
Yeah.
And it's so how to say, random. If it's a nightmare or a beautiful dream, it's just random. It's just... Thank you so much.
Sweetheart.
and all the beauties around here.
Yeah. Thanks, Shatrin. And to me, feeling the field that we're co-generating and co-inhabiting right now is just exquisite. Thank you, Bas, for hosting. Thank you all for showing up. Such a privilege to have time together like this. Good evening. Ciao.